Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Hi, Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope. So I've got lots of things that I want to discuss still further when it comes to the Bondi shooting. And also, there's a couple of, I do need to do an episode just going over what's happened with Queensland Police Service throughout 2025. The police shootings that have occurred will tally up how many shootings we've had in 2025. When I say shootings, I mean police-involved shootings, shooting incidents, and the way Queensland Police Service. I'm particularly interested in Queensland Police Service because obviously I was a police officer with them for over a decade. So I want to see how they take a closer look at how they handle police shooting incidents, police-involved shooting incidents. But before we do any of that, that won't be for another couple of days, any of that, and having a further look at the Bondi shooting and going over some of the analysis of that and the outcome, what we've seen politicians, the recommendations that they're making. Before we do any of that, just want to go over a couple of stories that came through with Queensland Police Service. The reason why I want to talk about these is, for one, I think it highlights the necessity of good leadership. So I was at a point a couple of years ago, I thought, well, obviously this is just, Queensland Police Service are in such a bind and they don't seem to be able to deliver some of their core roles. They don't seem to be able to deliver them properly because they've got poor leadership. And I thought this is purely because the former police commissioner, I don't want to say her name, and obviously the police minister, Mark Ryan, I assumed, okay, they are just so incompetent at their job that obviously a majority of the blame can be put upon their shoulders. And obviously some of the hierarchy that they're with, that needs to change. Now we have had quite a bit of change, and obviously we've had a change in police minister because we've had a change of government, and we've also had a change of police commissioner. So we've got Gollschewski, and I thought I wasn't a fan of Gollschewski. I think he was used as a bit of an attack dog by the previous commissioner, and I just think that's who he is. To be honest, that's the personality that he is, I think. And I thought, okay, we've had a change of commissioner, change of police minister as well, because we've had a change of government. We should see, even though we need other areas, other hierarchy that need to change within the Queensland Police Service, I thought, well, we should still see some effective change. Some areas should be changing. We should see some of those benefits because we've got a new commissioner. We should see some benefits flowing through. Nah. No, I think these two stories that I want to look at highlight just how ineffective the leadership even now, even just how ineffective they are. So I put up a quick clip. It came through from Channel 9, I believe it was. Going to run through that again just to refresh everyone's memory. I just want to discuss that a little bit.
There has been a major breach of security at a southeast Queensland police service facility. Pat Heaney's in the newsroom with the details. Pat, this isn't the first time this has happened.
No, it's not, Alison. This is the second time in 2 months. Now, these breaches of security relate to some police officers on Tank Street in Brisbane City, where senior staff and some equipment are held. In early November, they were broken into and parts of police uniforms and some electronic devices were stolen. On Wednesday night last week, that happened again. Nine News understands that around midnight, one person, a 21-year-old, broke into these offices, entered the lift and graffitied all over the walls. Nine News also understands that he entered those buildings using the same fire escape door that had been used in that prior breach of security. This time,
Tank Street gets broken into not once but twice. My understanding of the offices in Tank Street was not actually a police station. These are offices where senior police officers had offices in that building. Should be a very secure building, some very secure floors on there. There's those offices. You need swipe cards. The amazing thing is that they have a break-in. They have someone's broken in, some equipment has gone missing, and then they're able to break in, someone's able to break in, using the same entrance just a couple of months later. To me, this just shows how the leadership is lacking, that you can allow this to happen another time. That for one, you should have been all over the security of one of your buildings the first time. It should never have happened the first time, but hey, something's overlooked. There's obviously this breach, something's been overlooked, and you can say, okay, well, we can fix that problem. But then it's not fixed properly, and then they're able to break in again. But okay, you might say, well, whatever, Jay, you're kind of making a bit of a, a bit of a mountain out of a molehill here. But let's check out this other story that's come through. Okay, listen, I don't want to talk too much about what's going on there. Just the inability to actually lead. They've got these offices in Tank Street, which are inhabited by senior staff there. You would think that they would have reasonable security. But these are the same people that seem to have lost the ability to analyze security risks. It seems like they reach these positions and then they've forgotten basic policing just to analyze, just to work out what their own security risks or security needs are for the offices that they work in, to allow a building to be broken into, or the office area to be broken into, not once but twice. I mean, and these are the people who are in charge of policing in Queensland. I think it just shows the ineffectual leadership that we have within the Queensland Police Service at the moment. But hey, look at this headline here. This came through, and I thought, well, I'd actually spoken a bit about this just the other week. A story had already broken about this, but it's just continuing on. I think there's a bit of infighting here within the upper hierarchy within the Queensland Police Service and the commissioner. So you've got this headline: Queensland Police Commissioner Steve Gollschewski accused of jobs for mates row. Okay, there he is there, Steve Gollschewski. Queensland Police Commissioner Gollschewski has been accused of targeted managerial decisions by crafting senior positions for favoured colleagues over people who were picked based on merit. The allegations have been made in explosive documents tendered in the Queensland Industrial Relations Commission, which lay bare the never-before-seen details in the jobs for mates row, which has embroiled some of the state's top brass. Now, my opinion on a lot of the leadership within the Queensland Police Service is we need to have a major culling, especially within the really high ranks of the Queensland Police Service. So I would say anyone within superintendent and above, they need to be doing a review. The Queensland government needs to do a review on all of these positions, and we could probably cull close to 50% of these of these kinds of ranks anyway. But there's obviously a lot of infighting going here. So the allegations have been made in explosive documents, is what they said in the top brass. The extraordinary stoush came to a head after the Queensland Police Commissioned Officers Union took Mr. Gollschewski to court, because, there's all these other issues happening across the state, but all these top tier officers are concerned with is Gollschewski and who he's giving jobs away to. So that's obviously the most important thing to them, not actually policing, not actually the security of Queenslanders, not actually all the break-ins that are happening across the state. No, it's who's getting what job. So in the documents obtained by the Sunday Mail, Ms. Gollschewski is accused of using his position to remove Superintendent Paul Hart, who won a position through a merit-based selection, out of the Chief of Staff role in the Commissioner's office before creating a new role to put people known to him in the position. It's probably because he wanted people in there that he could trust, and also he could rely on to do what he wanted to do. That's probably it, but who knows? The documents state that the union claims he told Superintendent Hart, who was already in the role, to not apply for any temporary or permanent positions because he had no future in the office. There you go. There's Hart right there. And this is Mark Wheeler. Mark Wheeler, the old chap who put on when I was going through my little stoush with Queensland Police Service, and they were basically pushing for me to resign or whatever. They said, "Well, no, yeah, Jason can resign if he wants to get back in. If he wants to get back in, he can just apply like anyone else who wants to get back in. Forget about his over 10 years of service to the Queensland Police Service. Forget about the fact that he's only being pushed out. I'm only being pushed out because of the mandates and all that. Forget about all that. If you quit, we would rather you quit. And if you do quit, the only way you can get back in is if you reapply and go through the whole process again." This is Wheeler, an absolute, I won't say anything because, but look at that face. That face says it all. He is also alleged to have called the union to tell them one of the elected representatives voted to sit on the 100-day review. Superintendent Mark Wheeler would not be allowed on the implementation team because Wheeler had previously made 4 complaints against him. That's the kind of face that you can see would actually make complaints. Little weasel Wheeler. The union are seeking an injunction to compel QPS to comply with the consultation obligations, alleging they failed to comply with the provisions of the QPS Employee Award by creating the new role. Listen, the only reason why I want to talk about these two stories because I believe that this just shows the absolute incompetence of the Queensland Police Service leadership team, whether it's Gollschewski, Wheeler or Hart. All of them. We need some severe change when it comes to the leadership within the Queensland Police Service. I've got no respect for Wheeler. He was out there just treating people, when the mandates came about, just treating people like absolute rubbish. So what if you gave 10 years plus of service? You mean your service meant nothing to Wheeler. All he cared about was his own role, his own job. The same with Gollschewski. And now we see all this infighting because none of them are actually good leaders. They're only good at being bureaucrats and politicians. They are the epitome of management. They know how to manage people and manage situations. They don't actually know how to lead. They're not fit to lead people. They are definitely not fit to lead an organization, whether it's Gollschewski, Hart, Wheeler, whatever. I don't believe, in my opinion, I don't believe any of them are fit to lead the Queensland Police Service. And I think stories like this just highlight how ineffectual they are in their leadership and how realistically the government should go through and just have a major cull, okay, because they are ineffectual leaders. That's just my opinion, just a quick story. That's just my thoughts, my opinion. I think articles like this showing the infighting just back my opinion on need for change and their inability to lead people and lead an organization. We need leaders, proper leaders, not bureaucrats, not people who have just learnt managerial roles. That's all they are. They just manage. That's just my opinion. I'm Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to Slippery Slope.
They just fuel the desire that will take me higher.